Oh, what's cracking? We in the building once again. Once again. Once again. Once again. How everybody doing, man? Everybody hit that like button, man. What the hell going on? Yeah, that's probably what's going on. Okay, that ain't what's going on. Salute to everybody out there, man. Salute to everybody out there. Douglas Chunks in the building. Gouch Merlot in the building. What's cracking? Great show for you guys tonight. Salute. Say good morning. Salute, man. Yeah, man. Lakistan didn't disappoint. I told you that last night. Shout out to Pamela Henderson. Pamela Henderson in the building. Hey, listen. This shit ain't going through my goddamn. This shit ain't going through my goddamn. Mm.
11 Alive News at 11 p.m. starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight at 11. I'm Angelina Salcido. We do begin tonight with breaking news out of DeKalb County. 3 people are hurt after a shooting in a Decatur park. 11 Alive's Galat Malamed is at Chapel Hill Park on Lehigh Boulevard. And Galat, what are we learning tonight?
Well, of those 3 people hurt, DeKalb County police say that 2 of those people were shot. One of them was injured with glass through all this. We know that one of those victims is a 19-year-old woman with critical injuries. She was taken to the hospital. You could see this is an active scene even more than 3 hours after police were first called here for this shooting. So in addition to that woman who was taken to the hospital with critical injuries, DeKalb County police say that 2 people showed up to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. I did just speak to an investigator here who said that there was a balloon release happening here, but also another event happening at the park. This time, they're still working to confirm where the shooting actually stemmed from. There is about 3 police cars here on the perimeter of the park, but the park itself is blocked off. We did see some people leave, blocked off.
There's a balloon release. Balloon releases dangerous. Balloon releases in the stand are dangerous. That's crazy.
Area of the park just about 10-15 minutes ago. So still some people lingering here several hours after this shooting. Right now, DeKalb County police are still working to learn what led up to this shooting, as well as who the potential suspect or suspects are in this. Of course, we will keep you updated both on air and online with new information we get from them. Live in DeKalb County, Gilad Mohammed, 11 Alive News.
We know that you're asking the important questions, Gilad. Thank you. We'll continue to follow this.
Gee. Shootings everywhere. Wow. Wow.
Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Tracy Carlos. One person is dead and at least 5 injured after a shooting in Cleveland. Woodland Hills neighborhood. News 5's Maya Lockett has the newest information about this.
I'm back. Yeah, man. All right, had to get the sound straight, man. Thank you for your patience, man. Thank you for your patience, guys. Had to get the sound straight, man. We got a lot of shit going on, man. It's been it's been violent, man. It's been a violent, 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 violent 4th of July weekend in America. In America, it's all of America, man. It's all of America that's to blame for this, man. Blame all of America, man. We're all equally to blame, man. There's no one group that should get more blame than the other for this violent weekend in America.
And there are some new concern about safety in downtown Raleigh as police investigate 2 separate overnight shootings near Glenwood South. Officers were first called to West Johnson Street about 1 o'clock this morning, where they found a man shot. Then 30 minutes later, they were called to a shooting a few blocks away on Glenwood Avenue. CBS 17's Haley Kennedy joins us live. And Haley, you spoke to some people who say they were not letting the violence keep them from returning.
Yeah, Maggie, one of the people that I spoke to says she was just a few feet away from that initial scene, but despite it all, she still is going out tonight. Running for cover as police ran into action early Saturday morning.
Last night it did shake me, so I was ready to meet my Lord if I had to.
Mary Foley was across the street when the first shots were fired on West Johnson Street around 1 a.m.
So half the people in the club, because it was music, didn't hear it outside. Some people got down. There was a pub crawl. Some people were down on the ground like, oh my God, is somebody going to come through?
About 30 minutes later, when she was getting into her Uber home, another set of gunfire just down the road on Glenwood Avenue.
So 2 in a row, I'm like, okay.
The back-to-back shootings injuring 2 people.
I've been here many years, and I've never heard of shootings in the area.
A witness told CBS 17 that during the 4th of July celebration, a fight broke out when a man in a pink beanie started to shoot.
I'm like, that's like crazy. I mean, usually this area is, a lot of fun.
This scene coming off the heels of the Raleigh Police Department's recent crime report, which noted shootings this past quarter are down 8%. Foley says she always sees the RPD hospitality unit on Glenwood and still feels pretty safe.
Yes, absolutely. That's why I made sure to come out, for sure. I sure do. You got to keep living no matter what.
Now, both of those victims are expected to be okay. Raleigh police say they haven't made any arrests in either of those shootings, but we will keep you updated as we continue.
Wow. Raleigh. Fucking Raleigh is a shit show. You niggas have turned Raleigh into full-fledged Blackistan.
Quite frankly, the court does not get many cases like this. I'm not going to say it's the first one, but I can definitely count maybe not more than 2.
Milwaukee man who was once featured on Wisconsin's Most Wanted was already in jail, charged with homicide. He is now accused of trying to orchestrate the killing of someone involved in that case. Today, he returned to court in tears. And as Durante Matthews explains, the court wasn't buying it.
State of Wisconsin versus DeAndre Williams.
That's a phrase DeAndre Williams has heard a few times. Saturday, the 22-year-old found himself back in a Milwaukee County courtroom. They first charged him in 2024 with reckless homicide, to which he pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. Police say he killed a man outside of a liquor store. In February, Fox 6 profiled the crime in a Most Wanted piece.
Mr. Williams shot the victim at point-blank range with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun.
Fast forward to Saturday, prosecutors say Williams tried to get rid of the witnesses in that case. Court records show last month he asked a cellmate to kill them, saying no face, no case. Investigators say Williams gave a cellmate he's known for about 10 years a list of people, some including addresses. Prosecutors say he thought that cellmate would be getting out of jail soon. Court Commissioner Barry Phillips noted some people on that list were not even witnesses, but rather people who knew Williams's character.
You allegedly told your cellmate, she knows how I get down, so slide on her and shut her up too. Now that's some devious stuff right there.
Court records show the cellmate reported that info to an attorney, landing Williams back in court where he sat shaking and crying Saturday.
I think it's ironic that you've been in court the whole time crying, because when I read the allegations against you, it's not allegations of someone that cries.
Investigators say the list was 10 names long.
But you're in court crying. Too late for that.
Durante Matthews reporting. The court commissioner set his bond at $100,000, and if convicted, Williams would spend the rest of his life in prison. As for the prior case, a judge ordered a mental evaluation. They'll review that later this month.
Man, I. Ugh. Mm, 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 mm. That's the last time I'm gonna fall asleep tonight. That's the last time. I had a hell of a dream right now, yo. I don't know what the fuck I was dreaming. That's a hell of a dream. But I damn sure wasn't dreaming I was doing the show.
We begin tonight with a report from the 12 News I team. Imagine writing a negative online review about a bad experience and then
NBA player.
Guilty of the charge.
Former Portland Trailblazer Ben McLemore showed little emotion after a Clackamas County jury found him guilty of rape following a 2.5-week trial. The jury convicted him on 3 counts: first-degree rape, first-degree sexual penetration, and second-degree sexual abuse. Prosecutor Scott Healy.
You just don't do something like this to somebody and get away with it. I don't care who you are.
Prosecutors say McLemore raped a 21-year-old woman at a party in October of 2021. The assault happened at the Lake Oswego home of McLemore's then teammate, Robert Covington. During trial, the woman testified she was incapacitated after a night of heavy drinking and unable to consent. McLemore admitted he'd been drinking as well, but testified the sex was consensual.
She didn't show no signs of distress or discomfort, and didn't, give me no signs at all.
The prosecutor described the victim as brave for coming forward, reporting the crime, and then following the long road to justice.
Crime victims don't often report these cases, even when celebrity is not involved. So she was very brave to do that. She followed through. She stuck with this. And, I think she's in a much better place now, and she can start the emotional healing process because she is very emotionally traumatized by what happened to her.
Following the verdict, sheriff deputies took McLemore.
Big tall ass nigga in cuffs. God damn, man. I remember him at Kansas, man. He had a bright future. ends up in cuffs for rape.
Or into custody. The former Trailblazer, who once wore number 23 on the court, now has a new number. Ben McLemore's inmate 273-47953 in the Clackamas County Jail.
McLemore will be back in court for formal sentencing on Wednesday.
Damn. Wow.
You're looking at video that you will only see here on K2 showing a suspect attacking someone minutes before police say they stabbed a man and then hit a...
Yo, that shit needs to calm down, man. Women these days, man. Look at the way women act in public, man. Why are American women the only women that act like that in public? We got to do something about this, man. We need more femininity courses, man. Look at the way this woman is acting, man. Jesus Christ, man. Woman, be thou loosed.
You're looking at video that you will only see here on K2 showing us...
What we giving those cans, man? What we rating those cans on this woman, man? Huh? What are we rating the cans on this woman, man?
See here on K2 showing a suspect attacking someone minutes before police say they stabbed a man and then hit a child. Police ultimately using force to arrest that suspect. Again, that video you'll only see here on K2. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us on this 4th of July. I'm Barry Mangold. And right now, Portland police are having a busy holiday weekend. We're going to get tell you all about it. First, we're going to get to K2's Victor Park, who joins us live along the East Bank Esplanade. And Victor, tell us about what you're seeing out there right now, and then tell us about the stabbing that happened earlier tonight.
Hey, good evening, Barry. Yeah, celebrations are well underway here along the East Bank Esplanade. There is anticipated 1,000 people over here. In fact, let me show you what's happening. You have some tents over here, and then there is this huge crowd right now. You can see some people doing tricks right here with some flames. We've been watching people setting up fireworks and all across the Esplanade, right across, in fact, the waterfront. And so a lot happening here, presumably more than 1,000 people here. But as for the story happening in Old Town, yeah, police tell me that the suspect was so violent they had to be sedated before being taken to the hospital.
Video shows a suspect repeatedly attacking a man in Old Town. A witness who took this video tells K2 the suspect was sitting at a bar before the attack.
I saw her come by. Her words was, and I quote, "I'm going to go to prison for..."
Her. Yeah, man. I told you it was a she. I told you it was a she, man. And this woman right here would know. It takes a woman to know a woman, man.
For killing somebody. And before I could even say anything, this Hispanic guy was walking by. She instantly got up, started swinging and punching on him. I have videos on him. I couldn't do anything. I called 911. I started videotaping the incident because she was so far out of control that I couldn't, nothing I could tell, nothing I could say would calm her down.
Police say the suspect cut someone with a knife. That victim walked nearly a mile to police headquarters. Police and an ambulance responding, but it didn't end there. The suspect can be seen confronting someone with a wooden stick. Police say the suspect also hit a child with that long wooden stick and continued threatening others. Officers used a taser to finally arrest the suspect.
Yeah, in the meantime, the celebration continues here along the East Bank Esplanade.
If she was a sister, they would have just killed her, man. Press 1. This is white privilege, man. I was a sister. Cops would have just pulled out their gun and blasted her, man.
Good morning, everyone. 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock on your Saturday morning. We start with tragic breaking news out of downtown Indy. IMPD telling us that 7 people were shot and 2 have died in a shooting just a few hours ago. Police Chief Chris Bailey went straight to the scene near Washington and Illinois, and the chief did not mince words in a press conference just before 4 this morning. Take a listen.
I don't know how many times I have to say it. We are not your children's keepers. You are. And parents and guardians have got to step up. A kid is dead tonight. And we just don't know the age of the young man down the street, still here, dead. He looks young.
That was Chief Chris.
I get it, man. I get it, man. He frustrated. Ain't nothing gonna change, man. Ain't nothing gonna change, man. Salute the short bus driver, man. Short bus driver in the building. Shout out to Big P. Big P says, you really trolled us last night, Ak, with the crocodile tears about that talentless dipshit blowing his hand off. Now when he signs into the scorekeeper computer for family bowling night, it'll be a Munson. It'll be as Munson. Roy E. Damn. Listen, man, I wasn't crying crocodile tears for him. I just didn't think it was funny. I don't think it's funny that somebody get their hand blown off. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Now, like, if he had like walked into like a cabinet or something, his head on the cabinet or something, I mean, maybe that'd be funny, or tripped up or something, that'd be funny. Somebody blowing their fucking hand off, I just don't find it funny. I wouldn't give a fuck who you are. I just don't think that's funny. You know, you blow your fucking hand off, like poof, your hand is smithereens. I don't know. I don't think that's funny, man. It don't matter who you are.
He looks young.
That was Chief Chris Bailey, just heard from. Now, we have had multiple crews downtown since about 2 o'clock this morning. Our Anna Chalker is live downtown near where that shooting happened. She was at the Chief Bailey's emotional address to the press. And Anna, what do we know so far this morning?
Matthew, we know one of those victims that died this morning is a juvenile. And I will say, all 7, there were 3 juveniles, 3 adults involved with this. We're still figuring out the second identity of the person who died. And this is still an active scene here behind me, nearly 5 hours after the shooting happened. So let me step out of the way so I can show you what is going on behind us. They have taken a large section of Illinois street that is blocked off for this investigation. The majority of this happening between Illinois and Washington. But as you can see, cops, investigators still out here this morning trying to pick up evidence, figure out what led up to this mass shooting. So I do want to show you the scene when our crew first got here earlier this morning to show you how large this scene was. It happened around 1:30 this morning. IMPD officers who were already downtown responding to a separate disturbance heard shots being fired off of Illinois and Washington. They were just a couple blocks down the road. When they got closer to this scene, they found 6 people who were shot. One of the victims died on scene. 5 people were rushed to the hospital. That's when police say one of the other victims, the juvenile, died. And then they say a 7th victim walked into the hospital later on throughout the morning. Like we said, in total, 3 juveniles shot, 3 adults, still figuring out the identity of the one who died. Chief.
Jesus Christ, man. Let me drop the link, man. Salute to Big Pete, though, man. But I ain't, you know what I'm saying? That shit ain't funny, man. You get your motherfucking whole hand blown off. Good God Almighty. Yikes. That's you don't need me laughing at you, but you got enough to deal with, man. Salute though, man. We all got different sense of humors, man. We got different sense of humors, different sensibilities, man. In real life, I wouldn't laugh at nobody that got their hand blown on in real life. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't do that in real life. So I'll try not to do that here on this platform. You know. Like, what can I say, man? What's up, Crook?
Yeah, you did a story in the same intersection when you remember you had did that little team takeover shit. That was
Mm,
right here. That was right at the exact same place where the shooting happened.
this Indianapolis.
Yeah, yeah. But you remember you was like this team takeover shit spreading and all this other stuff, and you had did
Mm-hmm.
it. It was like an Indy. And this was the exact same street corner, like the exact same intersection.
Wow.
Yeah.
You familiar with Indianapolis?
I mean, I've been there. So like this is downtown. So like this is basically the only place where like is legit like got some like nice restaurants and all that. They got a steakhouse down here. It's about a football stadium and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so and Game Bridge Arena where the Fever and the Pacers play. So all that shit near each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
Chris Bailey.
yeah. This is the same place, man. They kept coming there until the fucking mass shooting happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, yeah, like what can you do? Like the guy, the chief said, we're not your kids' keepers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's almost a hopeless situation. That's what the criminal justice system is for. I'm sure a lot of these kids have been throwing boulders at the penitentiary, so it's like the parents are probably scared of them.
Yeah, this chief he taking this shit real personal, and as a white dude, he like one sentence away from saying something that's take his racism being fired. So he better continue to just collect this check and not give a fuck, because he getting his feelings involved. You can't get your feelings involved when you're dealing with sons, man.
Hell nah.
I don't know how many times I have to say it. We are not your children's keepers. You are. And parents and guardians have got to step up. A kid is dead tonight. And we just don't.
A kid who probably was the fucking terrorist and shit. You know what I mean? Piece of shit. Um, who knows? If he was a great kid, he probably wouldn't have been down there. Let's see what else they're talking about.
State at 10 starts now.
Tonight, 2 teenagers dead, 5 others in the hospital following an overnight mass shooting in downtown Indianapolis. You're watching Wish TV. I'm Tim Spears. It happened around the Arts Garden well after 4th of July celebrations when IMPD says hordes of...
The Arts Garden. Is that place is it by a river? I don't know.
Yeah. So they downtown is that's Milwaukee. They got like right off the river.
The Arts Garden.
I don't know if Indy is off the water with it.
Man, this is it doesn't sound like a place where sons, you know what I mean? The Arts Garden. Doesn't sound like a place where sons would be, frequenting. But let's see, man. The Arts Garden. What the fuck? All right, let's see this shit, man. What drew these sons down here, man? What drew these apes, these proto teens down here, man? The Arts Garden.
We are just over 24 hours away from the official tip-off to the NBA 2024 All-Star Weekend. Now 1 day left until the party starts in Indy. Now, leading up to the event, we've talked a lot about how downtown is transformed to make room for 125,000 fans.
And that includes breathing new life into buildings that really don't get much use these days. Fox 59's Eric Graves checks out how one downtown street is showing off Indy's culture.
A part of Washington Street is transforming into a cultural corridor, taking buildings that have been vacant for years and giving them new life. It all leads to the Arts Garden with a curated art show.
The former Rock Bottom Brewery and Pairings Cafe and frozen yogurt buildings near Monument Circle will reopen their doors this weekend. Both have been closed for years now. Pairings Cafe and frozen yogurt will be taken over by locally owned coffee shop Plaid and Pearls. The Rock Bottom building will become the Suite. It will feature free live music from Indianapolis Hip Hop Festival Trees in the basement. A full.
That was their first mistake. They thought they were, you know what I mean? Yeah, arts. Hip hop is art. No, the fuck it ain't. It's a bunch of niggas. It's nigga shit. It's nigga shit. Okay, whatever artistic about it is smothered in the gravy of niggerdom, nigger gravy. It's like literally making a fucking like goddamn filet mignon or a fucking goddamn I don't know, a porterhouse steak. Fucking getting it done at the best steakhouse in the fucking country, and then smothering that shit in gravy. That's what fucking hip hop does to art.
Bar and more than 10 restaurants from the international market cooking up food. The cultural corridor ends with an art show in the Indy Arts Garden featuring more than 29 local and international artists. It doesn't cost a cent to get in, but the curators are looking to sell all of the art. Co-founders of Gang Gang, Molly and Alan Bacon, are the creators leading the hundreds of artists who have transformed these buildings into the cultural corridor. They say this is all about showing off Indy and NBA culture.
Much of the reason that we are basketball fans is because of the culture, because of the arts. And when we think about
fuck your culture is violent. The culture, fuck the culture. The culture is violent, man. And yeah, anytime you include like black culture into something, it just fucks it up, man. We there's so much negativity steeped in our culture, man. It's like it's embedded. The Arts Garden. Why would you have young teens hanging out here at night? Why would you have young teens hanging out at night here, man? It's just a bad idea, man. Okay, so it's like an indoor space, yeah. Okay, so this was called the Arts Garden because of this place, but the area is called the Arts Garden. So if you put young black teens there, it ain't no Arts Garden no more. It's just a bunch of young black teens hanging out, man. You're gonna get what you get, man. Sad, man.
Minors were roaming the streets unsupervised. IT Mate's Kyla Russell has spent the day talking to people who knew one of the victims as well as police.
Yeah, Tim, so IMPD has not identified any arrests or suspects for the shooting that left those two teenagers dead. And friends I spoke to in mourning.
He had a big heart, like he was always there for people. Even if you're not his own, like he would be always there.
Aries White is remembered.
What you think that mean, man? Crookhound? He was always there for people, man. He was always there for people. He was ready to ride. You call him in the middle of the night, yo, I got some niggas, man. We gotta go get, man. You try to ride? Yeah, what's up? Come scoop me up. That's what the fuck they mean, man. He was always there for people.
Big heart, like he was always there for people. Even if you're not his own, like he would be always there.
Aries White is remembering his friend, known as AZ, one of the two teenagers killed in a downtown Indianapolis mass shooting. He was just 16 years old.
Families that's hurt and kids that don't even get to see a life or experience nothing within their time.
IMPD says 7 people between 15 and 21 were shot overnight when hundreds of unsupervised kids were gathered near the Arts Garden. Another teenager, 15 years old, also died at the hospital.
We need our parents and guardians to speak up, to take charge, to be nosy.
Standing next to Mayor Joe Hogsett, IMPD Chief Chris Bailey says the department plans to add new cameras in strategic locations downtown and to increase police presence along with state officers. Authorities also plan to issue stay away.
More cameras. More fucking cameras. Yo, it's literally a camera every fucking 10 feet. They can follow you. Any person who goes anywhere can be followed from the doorstep to the fucking wherever they go and back. More cameras is not going to solve this problem. The criminal justice system is the only ones that can even begin to do something. When these little niggas get locked up for violent crimes, you got to give them an adequate sentence. You got to give them something good. You got to give them something they can feel. The parents are terrified of these kids, man. I would too. My little son was fucking running around with a gun. My son is 15 months old. If his ass was running around with a gun right now, I'd be terrified. I'd be like, yo, what the fuck? These kids are 15, 16, 17, disrespectful. All their friends are disrespectful and doing the same shit. Everybody they watch on TV, all the bloggers, all the fucking streamers, all the rappers they like are disrespectful and out of touch with reality. Parents are terrified.
Orders for violent or repeat offenders, all in hopes of preventing those already in trouble from going to hotspots downtown. They're renewing efforts to enforce their juvenile curfew, 11 p.m. for kids under 15 and 1 a.m. on Saturdays and Sundays for teens 15 and up.
I'm not so unaware that sometimes parents work and the kids are left to fend for themselves because they have to survive. I'm not aloof to that. And that's why any kind of curfew enforcement needs to be based in help and not punishment.
See, they already made him apologize. They got to him. They was like, yo, you need to go say something. Black people are going to get upset. So he had to go back and he had to amend his comments. He had to give a caveat. Let me tell you something, though, about that working shit. Yeah, some black parents work. You know what I mean? But if you got a one-parent household, if the parent's working, then there's no other parent there to supervise the kid. Secondly, it ain't always working. A lot of these sisters that got these kids, they ain't working. They try to get the fuck away from these little motherfuckers. They trying to do anything they can to get away from these kids. They tell these kids to go outside. They tell their kids to go outside. Go outside. Don't come back till sundown. Knowing their kids are terrible terrorists. All these sisters ain't on their kids aren't running wild because they're working. That's not that's probably 30% of the reasons. Majority of these kids that are running around acting crazy, their parents ain't fucking working, or even if they are, they ain't working like 3 jobs and shit like that. No, it's not that. But he had to say that. He had to say that because they knew. They was like, yo, black people about to get mad because you said something about parenting. You made a critique about parenting. Black people about to start whining and shit. Salute to Don Rickles. He said the last Chicago mass attack demolished 2 beautiful young ladies. Their best lives still ahead of them. Women and children are off limits. I don't know about that. I understand.
I'm not aloof to that. And that's why any kind of curfew enforcement needs to be based in help and not punishment.
When 7 teenagers were
He folded. Look how fast he folded. Press 1. Curfew needs to be based in help and not punishment. He folded like origami, man.
I'm not aloof to that. And that's why any kind of curfew enforcement needs to be based in help and not punishment.
When 7 teenagers were shot in March of 2024 in nearly the same downtown location, IMPD said it would enforce youth curfew laws. And after 4 months, officers picked up just 3 kids for violating it. And IMPD said it wasn't tracking curfew violations. It's not clear why IMPD stopped enforcement. And Chief Bailey is pleading for parents' help.
Set clear boundaries from parents and guardians to their children. Talk to their kids about what the curfew is. Decide how often they would check in. Pick the best ways to stay in touch. Use technology to know where they are.
People like Aaron Green with Struggle Made Us, who works to combat crimes from young people, says kids need more safe places to go.
We can find outlets to give them things to do because these kids don't have anything to do. So we're telling them not to.
So there ain't no basketball team and ain't no football team. You know what? This whole notion that the kids don't have anything to do, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. These little thug kids that hang out on the street don't want anything to do either. Like, what the fuck do some little fucking thug in training, some little gangbanger in training, what the fuck do he want to do besides being in the street? That's what he want to do. If that's his goal, to be a gangbanger or to be a shooter or to be from the hood, why the fuck would he be doing anything but hanging in the street and being in the mix? And whatever, and it's plenty to do. They ain't doing it. It's plenty to do. They ain't doing it. And they don't want to do it. It's plenty for kids to do. Indianapolis, there's so many fucking programs. Yeah, ain't nothing to do at 1 a.m. Yeah, 1:30 a.m. it ain't nothing to do. That's true. Ain't nothing to do at 1:30 a.m. Yeah, they all want to make a name for themselves. He talking about they ain't got nothing to do. Shit, they doing it. Your little activity that you gonna get $1 million from the city to create some goddamn program. Little niggas ain't coming up there. Only ones gonna come to your program are the dropouts, the gang dropouts. But they're not a problem. Those kids aren't a problem. They're not creating any of the crime.
To go in different places where everybody is going, but there's really no safe spaces for them to go where they can kind of be themselves, have fun.
Yeah, I'm not surprised because it seems like when you go somewhere every day, it's always something going to happen.
Now, when it comes to curfew enforcement, City County Councilor Leroy Robinson, who's also the chairman of the Public Safety and Criminal Justice Committee, says there's not enough staffing at the Juvenile Detention Center to intake and process large numbers of minors on the weekends. I'm Kyla Russell for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Jeez.
We are continuing to follow breaking news out of Des Moines. We brought you at the top of the show. Police are investigating a shooting in the Riverbend neighborhood. That's where we find KCCI's Pepper Papura live. And Pepper, what do we know so far?
Yeah, well, Kayla, so we're at Ohio University. That's where we find this investigation. You can see police are they've been focusing right here at the intersection, especially near the curve. We're told this is potentially in connection to a hit and run that happened earlier today. That was about 2nd Avenue and Hull Avenue. Then about 9 o'clock this evening, police were called here. Reports of gunfire. Now, once they arrived, they did find a person that has been arrested. They also recovered a gun. One person was taken to the hospital, though, with gunshot wounds. Now, police are asking people to avoid this area. As you can see, they have shut down part of the road, primarily this westbound side of University, as well as the area where Ohio connects with the road here. So if you do have to come through here, try and find an alternate route. But for the time being, we are going to bring you updates as those become available. So, live in Des Moines, Pepper Papura, KCCI News.
Fucking Des Moines. These niggas have fucked up Des Moines. Jesus Christ. These niggas have fucked up Des Moines. Unbelievable. What's cracking, man?
Des Moines has fallen.
Des Moines has fallen, man.
Kind of puts into perspective these people that talk about Democrat-run cities and Republicans. This that doesn't matter.
Man, let's see.
New tonight, a Des Moines man is facing several charges, including attempted murder after breaking into an Ankeny home. Court records show Jameer Goodwin entered a home in the northwest part of town on July 1st. When confronted by the 68-year-old homeowner, court documents show Goodwin attacked and choked the man, leaving him unconscious twice. Investigators say the victim could have died. According to court documents, Goodwin stole the man's wallet, 2 cell phones, thousands of dollars in cash, and a firearm. Investigators say the man's wife died a day before, and they learned Goodwin is the brother of the at-home healthcare worker who took care of her. Goodwin was arrested 2 days later after fraudulent transactions were made on the victim's cards. Other charges include first-degree robbery and burglary.
So what category you putting Jameer in, man? Is Jameer a son, man, or is he a Sun glider or is he a glider? Which one we gonna give him to?
Man, you know what? Fuck, I'm gonna give it to the gliders. They could take them.
Yeah,
They got
yeah.
space.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, he's a glider, man. Look at that goddamn those features, man. If his name wasn't Jameer, man, if his name was fucking Cody, we wouldn't be looking at him like that, man.
Brad.
Yeah, that's a goddamn glider, man. The hell. Um, let's see. Listen, we talking about. Look at this. Here come the pastor. Good old pastor.
Faith leaders and activists are also expressing frustration tonight with the downtown mass shooting, and they are pushing for change. Our Marina Silva in studio tonight with what they're saying. Marina?
Well, social media is flooded with many people talking about how heartbreaking it is that 2 juveniles are now dead. We're also hearing from city county councilors about what they can do. Councilor Leroy Robinson, the chair of the Public Safety Committee, wrote a letter to the people of Indianapolis condemning the violence. He says the city county council is looking to revisit the curfew ordinance to make sure police can enforce it and that it is effective, as well as introducing ordinances to hold parents accountable. However, he also says the Marion County Juvenile Detention Center and Juvenile Family Services don't have the capacity or the intake to be able to handle this on a weekend. So he's calling on the rest of the community to help. Reverend Malachi Walker is the director of Young Boys Incorporated Youth Ministries. He says it takes just one kid at a time.
I'm speechless because I've been preaching all along. We can do better. But other than that, you know, it's kind of one of those things where you question yourself. What I'm doing, is it working? And my answer to that, yes, it is. It is working. If we can save one, I think we did a whole lot.
Pastor Walker from Young Menning says it takes everyone working to save the children in the community, and nobody can give up. We're continuing to get details on the aftermath of the shooting, and we'll bring it to you as we learn more. Jenny?
All right. Thanks so much, Marina. Want to let you know tomorrow.
It takes everybody in the community.
Right. He looked pretty worn out, the pastor. Man,
Yeah.
sons are putting him through it.
I'm telling you, man. It takes everybody in the community to stop these little niggas from going downtown and killing each other.
Right, throw the kitchen sink at it. Do you remember the one segment where they were saying they were spending like millions of dollars on the program, and the director said, if we could save one for $5 million.
Right. Jesus Christ. The audacity to say that on the news. To say that on the fucking news, like, yeah.
A 4th of July celebration ends in tragedy after a man is shot and killed. Thanks for watching the news at 5. I'm Shay Arthur. A woman was also injured in that shooting. The person responsible on the run tonight. WREG's Queecha Wilborn spoke to a witness who says the victims may have been targeted.
It's 4th of July. Somebody just wants to get away with doing something and blending with the fireworks, so that's what they did.
What was supposed to be a time of celebration quickly turned to devastation. Memphis police say just before 2 a.m. Saturday, a man and woman were shot at a home in the 3500 block of Bowen Avenue. Both were rushed to the hospital in critical condition. However, the man later died from his injuries. A man we spoke to living on the property who didn't want to be identified says the victims are his friends.
Yeah, they were just resting on the side of the yard, just lounging out. We were camping out and such. After a short amount of time, they were both shot point blank.
The man we spoke to says he had only stepped away for a moment when the shooter walked from behind the home and shot the couple. He says the gunman disappeared immediately after.
Either targeted or completely reckless.
The witness says he doesn't know who shot his friends or why. MPD didn't release many details, but say the shooting stemmed from some sort of dispute. Those living in the neighborhood say people are known to wander around the property and are often seen sleeping in the yard or on the front porch.
I've been in the situation.
Okay, so these were some vagabonds These some vagabonds. I don't know. Maybe it's a drug debt. I don't know. Who knows, man?
Terrifying moments as shots ring out at a shopping center overnight. It's a massive crime scene spanning several blocks. Victims rushed to the hospital by both EMS and private cars. We're getting a clearer picture tonight of exactly what went down. New tonight, the surveillance video showing the chaos and panic as people run for their lives. Good evening. I'm Caitlin McCarthy. We'll have that coming up, but first, Michelle Nix walks us through what we know so far.
It was here on Cleveland's east side where the July 4th celebrations carried well into the early morning hours. Witnesses say there was a car meetup here at this plaza, but it wasn't the boom of fireworks, but gunshots that left at least 5 people injured and at least 1 dead.
Shot fires at the Buckeye Plaza. Got over 30 rounds going off.
Yellow police tape marks the sprawling crime scene. Cleveland police say shots were fired initially in the area of East 115th and Buckeye Avenue around 4:15 in the morning and included the parking lot at the shops at Buckeye.
They had everything blocked off. So you could tell it was like a massacre. It probably was like over 50 shell casings.
Latasha Adams witnessed the aftermath of the shooting as she went to pick her sister up from work.
They said something about it was a car meetup, and then people started arguing that escalated into a deadly shooting and possible shootout, according to witnesses.
We possibly have somebody shot. I see a crashed out car and people running towards it. Tons of traffic.
Adams snapped this photo of a car flipped over and crashed nearby.
By Buckingham is where another, I believe, a red Challenger was flipped over and the person was deceased, and I guess the body was still in the car.
We're definitely going to need more cars here.
Officers called for more backup as it became clear there was one crime scene after another, some involving more shooting victims and crashed cars.
We've got a female calling in screaming for EMS at 114.
I just know it looked like the Wild Wild West. I didn't even know that everything was related until everybody started talking about it. It was all related.
Adams tells me when she was growing up, car meets were just fun, never violent. Now she says shootings, especially involving young people, happen almost any time there's a large crowd.
Every day they be calling me an old lady. I be telling them, Mom, look, you gotta live to get old. Y'all not even making it to see 30 years old. It's sad.
Police say the young man who died was approximately 22 years old. The other victims range in age from 18 to 21. Reporting in Cleveland, Michelle Nix, 19 News.
Man, listen.
I feel like Ohio and Cleveland, Cincinnati, they don't get enough credit for how much of a shareholder they are, you know?
Yeah, there was a mass shooting at in Columbus too, and that's in Ohio.
In March, police found 90 casings, shell casings, after a shooting at an Airbnb along Clark Place in Midtown. Now, also in March, detectives investigated another shooting at an Airbnb near the Poplar and North Hollywood intersection during a late-night party. Sadly, shots were fired this past weekend at another home being rented out in East Memphis. Neighbors say they are concerned at the number of times local listings have turned into crime scenes. WREG's Dorita Patterson with more reaction from one woman who says she wants to see more rental restrictions.
One turn off Mount Moriah and you will run right into Flamingo Road. There are beautifully bloomed flowers along with perfectly manicured lawns. But early Monday, things were anything but picturesque. Police saturated the East Memphis neighborhood when a party at a home rented out through Airbnb turned violent.
I don't want this in my neighborhood, and I'm sure nobody wants it in any neighborhood.
Meet Sally Goodwin, who enjoys taking her neighbor's dog Newbie on daily walks. But what she doesn't enjoy is being awakened to pure chaos.
When I woke up at 12:30 in the morning with the police here, and then I find out what had happened.
Detectives say this teenager, Jeremiah Tucker, was called to the party to sell marijuana.
The lady said down the street, it was like a fast food restaurant. People were coming in, picking up drugs and going.
It is alleged the 18-year-old got into a fight, which ended in a deadly shooting. Ms. Goodwin says the problem is centered around local listings being used for illegal activities.
I feel like that we should do is Germantown.
Just last year, the Germantown Board of Aldermen passed an ordinance banning the hosting of events in residential areas where admission is charged. This came on the heels of a party where upwards of 35 calls were made to police.
I'm not going to allow this.
35 calls made to police about one party at an Airbnb in your fucking neighborhood. You don't have these type of niggas in your neighborhood. You don't have these type of problems in your neighborhood. But you got an Airbnb in your neighborhood, and niggas rent the Airbnb and bring a whole horde of niggas over there to act niggerish. And now you got nigger problems in your fucking neighborhood.
I mean, what can you say about it, right? It's just unacceptable how we're forced to ignore it as a society.
Yeah, you're right. This is crazy, man. This is sad, man. Those people that live there, man, oh my God. Jesus Christ. Imagine just, you can't say anything to these people. People will shoot you if you say something.
To police.
I'm not going to allow this in my neighborhood.
Laser focused, in fact, on trying to prevent something similar from happening yet again. In fact, in the words of Ms. Goodwin, she is a Memphian on a mission.
Like a dog on the phone until this is handled. I've called the number repeatedly.
The person Ms. Goodwin has been calling is the man listed as the property owner. We called, but he declined to comment. But who is reacting are those determined to protect their peace.
It's just a quiet neighborhood. Everybody takes pride in it. And then all of a sudden this happens.
For your news leader, Jarita Patterson, WREG, News Channel 3.
And just moments ago, Airbnb releasing a statement condemning gun violence. The company says it has taken action to remove the account of the guest who booked the reservation and suspended the listing. Airbnb also says it is standing by, ready to assist Memphis police with their investigation.
Wow.
This is heartbreaking. It really is.
Yeah. It's almost like it never said. Look at this, and here's another one.
Fox 13 is on breaking news. 2 people killed in a deadly mass shooting at a bar and grill in Frazier. It happened at Infinity Sports Bar and Grill on North Watkins.
Fox 13's Daniel Wilkerson is there, and he joins us there live. Daniel, when we talked to you 30 minutes ago, there were a lot of family members there just horrified and saddened by what happened. What is the situation now? Looks like you've changed positions.
Yes, I have. We've moved a little bit closer to the action. I'm going to show you what we can show you while I tell you what has happened here. This is Infinity Bar and Grill here on Watkins, and you're taking a look at the scene. Family members just left a little while ago. You will hear from one in just a second. As you would imagine, they were just inconsolable. What we know, folks, 5 people shot in and outside of this club. We understand that 2 men are dead this morning. 3 people are in critical condition, taken to hospitals, 1 by ambulance, 2 by private vehicle. You can see there is some sort of vehicle, appears to be, I'm going to move this up so this vehicle can get in. This may be some type of coroner vehicle. Usually when they come in, they're in those black vans. But like I said, 5 people shot. 3 people taken to the hospital, 2 by private vehicle, 1 by ambulance. Those people are in critical condition this morning. 1 person died here on the scene. Another person died at a hospital. We understand of the 3 people who were taken to the hospital in critical condition, 2 of those are females and 1 man. Now, as I said, I spoke with family members out here. They said that the violence has got to stop. It sounds cliche because we say it so much. You're looking straight ahead at 2 police officers, MPD officers who are collecting evidence. And it looks like what they're looking for would be cameras. They say that the cameras will really be critical in this situation. I want you to hear from an aunt of a man who, keep in mind, folks, he was found dead in the parking lot. She says they found out about his death by way of Facebook Live and saw his body on the ground on that Facebook Live.
The fights got to stop. They just got to stop because, like, people ending up dead everywhere.
These people did in the club, outside the club. Then you kill my nephew. You kill my nephew.
How old was your nephew?
32.
32 years old.
And he gone. He gone.
Because of gun violence.
Because of gun violence in Memphis. In Memphis. In Memphis, man. It's just sad.
Back out live, folks, throughout the morning, as I said about 30 minutes ago, we are going to be taking a look at the gun violence at this particular club, because Fox 13 has reported back at this club several times. We will go over those incidents coming up in about 30 minutes.
Yeah, and as you said, Daniel, not our first time there, so we'll look forward to hearing from you in about a half hour from right now.
Yo, I'd wake up. It's just incredible. It's incredible. It's unbelievable how consistent some people are, man. These son, man. It's never a dull day, dude. Not one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Covering this stuff, boy. Oh, man. I don't get any sleep anymore, man. I don't get any sleep anymore, man. Covering this. I don't get any sleep anymore. I have to get some sleep, man. But I'm gonna push on tonight, man. I'm push on tonight. Let's go. Let's push on tonight. Let's push on tonight. Let's push on. Let's see. DC.
We do have some breaking news. Speaking of Northwest D.C., right off the top, more gun violence in the district. D.C. police on the scene of a shooting along 14th Street Northwest.
This happened near several popular downtown restaurants and comes after two separate shootings yesterday. Fox 5's Maureen Ume, she's live on the scene right now with the latest.
Okay,
Maureen.
that's a month ago. Let's see. Here we go.
Men are behind bars in connection with a deadly shooting and a dramatic standoff that played out in the Russell neighborhood. WDRB Stefan Johnson tells us what led police to the suspects.
All three suspects are locked up behind me here at Metro Corrections, arrested after a high-stakes standoff involving SWAT, smoke bombs, and a murder case police have been chasing for months.
Just a whole bunch of police cars.
It ended with a takedown, but investigators say it all began.
Damn, look at this nigga, man. God, duh. Damn. That's what civil society lets walk around with a gun, because it's constitutional carry here. This dude can walk around with a machine gun if he wants to, looking like a goddamn Homo sapien and shit, a hominid.
I mean, if you were to ask ChatGPT if it weren't biased, give me an image of someone that would do this crime, this is it right here.
I'm telling you, man. Jesus Christ.
Investigators say it all began nearly 3 months ago when 41-year-old Wayne Woods was shot and killed in Louisville's Russell neighborhood.
Somebody said, "Oh, something happened outside," and I come to see, and I see the people, the police running.
On Thursday, police spotted Joseph Coggins.
That's an Aztec, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. That's a straight up Aztec right there, man. Yeah,
What was he doing? Cutting grass or something? And he saw what happened?
Yeah, he probably was cutting grass. Elmer, shit. Damn. Right, cutting grass or pushing a goddamn taco stand or some shit.
He was on the roof. He had a perfect view of the.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He was on the roof, man. He had a bird's eye view of that shit, man. God damn, that's a straight up Aztec. No admixture whatsoever, man.
The people, the police
He's like,
running.
On Thursday, police spotted Joseph Coggins and LaJuan Bartlett in a car near Silbach and Lentz Avenues. Officers ordered them out, but say the men refused.
The car was down a lot past the very last house down there, just pulled in. They were all around it. There were probably about 8 of them immediately.
After nearly 3 hours, SWAT moved in.
He know he done. Look at him. He like, damn. I'm done. I'm cooked. They got me.
He's like, I'm going back.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. He going back, and this time though, he ain't coming back.
Hours, SWAT moved in and eventually pulled the men out of the car.
They ended up doing a smoke bomb, which scared all of us.
Police say they found drugs and cash and believe Coggins and Bartlett were trafficking narcotics.
8 and 9, Joseph Coggins.
Meanwhile, both men appeared in court on Friday morning.
So, Mr. Coggins, we're going to enter a plea of not guilty to these charges.
Coggins' bond was set at $500,000 and Bartlett's $25,000 cash.
Mr. Bartlett, I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty to these charges.
A third suspect, Maurice Hurd, is also charged in the case and scheduled to be in court next week.
At least it was solved in a calm way and not everybody in it.
Neighbors still don't.
Damn, Pocahontas and shit out this motherfucker. God, dude.
You know what, Ike, man? It's official, man. I'm calling it right now, Ike. Some people cannot talk anymore about Black is beautiful, this and that, until we get this crime problem under control.
I'm telling you. Black excellence, I don't hear shit about none of that.
I'm calling it right now. Spread the word.
Anthony Madison says, greetings from Cairns, far north Queensland, Australia. Great channel. Wow. Australia on the board. Salute, man. Shout out to Australia, man. Come on, America. Don't let Australia out fucking support you tonight, man, on the channel, man. That's sad, man. You damn Americans are getting out supported by goddamn Australia. This motherfucker goddamn probably sitting on a fucking kangaroo fucking fur fucking lazy boy and shit. And you guys in America are letting them out fucking perform you. This is sad, man.
Yeah, he's over there dodging poisonous snakes left and right, and still out there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. What's going on, man?
Yo, what up, Ock?
What's cracking, man?
Man, ain't nothing. Another beautiful day in the sunny hood.
Yeah, definitely a beautiful day. A beautiful day in the neighborhood, man. A lot of mass shooting. When was that other mass shooting I said? Did I say Columbus? I think I said Columbus, right? Oh, it was one in Philly too. Yeah.
Today?
Yeah, big mass shooting in Philly, man. Let me
There was another one in Chicago too, but in front of the Cook County Jail.
Here we go. Bada bing.
We're starting with breaking news out of South Philadelphia. That is where a mass shooting broke out early this morning on 11th Street. Ellen Kaloje is live now at the scene. Ellen, what do we know?
Yeah, good morning, Greg. Good morning, everyone. 11 people shot out here in South Philly. Police say possibly 12, and police are trying to figure out exactly what happened out here at this bar restaurant that was not supposed to be opened so late on the 4th of July. Let's take a look at some video from earlier today. Now, police say they got the call about a shooting just before 4 o'clock this morning here on the 1100 block of South 11th Street at a place called 7 Elements. Now, when police arrived at the scene, they say they found 3 people with gunshot wounds. Those 3 were immediately taken to local hospitals. 2 remain in critical condition. A security guard who was shot in the face and a woman shot in the back. 8 more people then checked themselves into area hospitals, and there may be another person shot as well. Inspector D.F. Pace says the door of the bar was closed when police arrived, and they had to break it down. It was a chaotic scene with many shell casings scattered everywhere.
There are shell casings that were found just outside of the bar, also on the upper balcony, and there were some shell casings also on the staircase as well, and also on the parking lot below.
Somebody was shooting from the fucking balcony. Damn. That's crazy.
At about 3:53 this morning.
Let's see if we can.
There's still a lot of unanswered questions.
We're starting with breaking news.
There's still a lot of unanswered questions. Yeah, no shit. Damn, Philly. Oh yeah, Columbus. Yeah, one in Columbus.
I was watching this one son man talk from here, right? Ike? He was talking about how he's a hotep, and he was saying how sisters, I know you don't want to give up your kids, but your kids are murdering, and I get it. Make the police do their job. You talking to the police is a part of their job. They can't just it's there's no solution, bro.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what to say, man. I listen to this dude regularly because I like to people call in, and it keeps me connected to the
to what the people
pulse,
are thinking,
to
real
the pulse
people.
of the Blackistan, and
Yeah.
just rough, like
Yeah.
the logic. There is no logic.
Nah, it's child. It's very childlike. Very, very childlike. Very, very childlike. Reasoning and rationale, and it's very disappointing when you see like certain people like where you're like, oh man, I thought you had a little bit of sense.
Yeah,
you're a child too.
It's very emotion based. It's
Yeah.
emotions driven, and and we've said it here time and time again. But the facts don't matter.
Doesn't matter. Nope.
And we are following breaking news this morning. One person was killed overnight in a shooting in the Franklinton neighborhood. That shooting happened right around 1:30 on West of Broad Street and Stevens Avenue. Police say the victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition where they later died. The victim's identity has not been released and no information on a suspect is available at this time.
Wow. Wow.
Tonight, the search for Jordan Manny Collins Jr. is over, but there are still many unanswered questions about his death.
After weeks of searching, the 16-year-old's body was found Saturday in the Elk River landfill.
I assure you it's a sober.
Think about that, man. This little fucking sun turd went missing, and they searched everywhere and found his ass in a landfill. You know how hard it is to find somebody in a fucking landfill?
Right, yeah. Wow.
Let me say, you know the only way to get to a landfill, right, is in the back of a fucking trash truck.
Damn. Man.
Well, his ass was in the fucking trash truck at one point.
Okay. So that means he was in the dumpster the
In
whole
a dumpster.
time, and that he just got tossed out of the. Wow.
Yeah, got compacted and everything because they compact every time they go to every time they dump the trash, they compact that shit.
Every
and then
time.
Then they dump the next trash and they compact it again. And then they dump that shit in all the trucks from the city. Like you should see them when they lined up. It'd be like 100 trucks from the city all lined up to dump that shit in the fucking landfill every fucking day. Trash day. And then they went out there and found this nigga, a black kid, and nigga, they don't care about us. They don't think the America got a missing white woman syndrome. What?
I know, man.
Right. Yo,
if she was white, they would have found her on the first day.
Yo, they're projecting, aren't they, when they say they don't love us?
They don't love them
because they don't love themselves, right? Is that fair?
Oh yes, that's very fair. It's a complete inferiority complex. I mean, baked in the cake.
But I'm saying though, these dudes don't love; they hate each other.
Oh yeah, definitely. They hate themselves too. Like that's true.
Well, they love their life.
Yeah, they love their life in America. Yeah, they wouldn't trade it for nothing, but they hate themselves. Like the self-hatred. I mean, like I struggle with that too, though. Like to a degree, man. Like we all as a human, right? All humans We hate things we've done. We hate opportunities we've missed. We hate things that we've haven't taken advantage of in our past. We hate ourselves. You know what I'm saying? For those things.
Yeah, like
These
traumas.
motherfuckers, yeah, exactly. These motherfuckers have all of that and the fact that they hate themselves for being black too. So they got all the same shit that every human being got. All the regrets, all the shit,
Yeah.
and they got the shit they hate themselves for being black.
Now, do you honestly think they hate themselves for being black though? Like
Look,
how?
Yeah,
hey,
definitely.
wicked. I don't know about. Honestly, I don't know if the Sun Man really thinks about their life in that way to where like they hate themselves. Now, if we're talking about the women, then we can have that conversation, especially when it comes to the hair and the hatred that the Sun Woman has for the glider. But as
Jealousy.
for yeah, well, yeah, but I know I think that there is like some true self-hatred.
But the Sunman is they just strike me as very
Not,
comfortable. Like
I mean, because the Sun Man, I think they hate um another Sun Man that is successful. That's where that hate themselves comes into play.
Yeah, but
But
they
it's
hate
gonna
another
be
Sunman period though. They hate, I think
yeah.
they hate another Sunman period. Is success is all relative. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like success is relative to your station or your the circumstances or the the field that you plan on or whatever the fuck like that. But I think
intelligence.
Sunmen hate each other. I think Sunmen hate each other. I think Sunmen hate other Sunmen, like a lot of trauma. Like, think about it. Like, growing up around Sun people, you're going to get bullied. You're going to get screwed over royally. You're going to get, backstabbed, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of Sun men, you know what I'm saying, have been shot by other Sun men. A lot of Sun men have been, bullied by other Sun men. A lot of Sun men have been, robbed by other Sun men. A lot of Sun, some man gonna do you wrong if you stay around Sun men, right? So if you from the hood, you got a lot of trauma and you got a lot of hatred towards Sun people, right? Your hatred towards white people is is like probably the only abstract thing that that some man can't conceptualize, because it's like,
Damn.
well, they
Well,
did
I
this
think
to us back
yeah,
then, or I read that this happened in the past, or I read that this is structurally
Yeah.
systematic, this, that, and the third.
yeah.
You know what I'm
It
saying?
makes me feel this way even though I don't
No,
experience
nah,
it.
Yeah.
hey, you know what I think that is? I think that's just xenophobia. The Sun Man spends so much
Mm.
time in Blackistan to where the glider is a mythical creature. Something that
Mm.
they don't even understand. As far as they understand, the glider sleeps upside down at night.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They understand that whip. They understood that whip. Like they understand the glider very much. They understand like that. Okay, white liberals and shit, they soft and we can take advantage of them. They understand these
And the
things.
consequences.
Yeah, they understand all that stuff. They understand the Sun Man is just, we hate each other, man. We hate each other.
You,
We
you
really
know
do, man.
you know what I thought of, like from my experience or my impression about that was they hate each other to whatever degree because of their impulsiveness around each other. Again, we've said here,
Right.
we've
Oh
seen
yeah.
here how proximity to the sun man it's correlated with like violent victimization, right? They're proximal to each other, so they're gonna victimize each other. So
Yeah.
like that Memphis shooting right in the club, that was without a doubt an impulsive act where he unloaded into the crowd, right? For example.
But
And that's kind of what
But
I've seen myself too, from my experience. Just the
well,
impulsiveness leads
yeah,
to
but Wicked. The great thing about, what Og has revealed to us is that there aren't any solutions because it is in our DNA. It's in the sun DNA.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
it, if if I mean, it's Negroes in Negro land.
yeah.
If the Sun Man has the technology, the Sun Man will figure out how to whoever disagrees with him, how to wipe out that entire bloodline. That way, nobody can disagree with him again.
Yeah. This
So
this DNA argument, man, it is really incredible. I'd love to see somebody who's capable of push back on Ak on it. Just like someone that's able to argue it, debate Ak on it, because that DNA argument, it has to be considered, man. At the very least, it has to be considered.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
if you
they're,
look at
they're
good,
Well, no, what I was thinking is that no, it seems like in the better interest for them to just outright ignore it and just to continuously say, we just got to get down to the root cause because, they got to keep the
That
Sun
money
Man at the
grab,
bottom. Yeah,
money
yeah, they
grab.
got to keep
But one could argue, that if we accept the DNA argument, then we can stop kidding ourselves and provide to the sons as they need, and stop pretending all this fantasy nonsense. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Sounds like you're asking for slavery to come back.
well, look, we know, for example, that sun men are impulsive and lash out violently, right?
mhm.
Maybe we could address that somehow, right? We could just be honest about it and focus on that for a bit. Does that make sense?
No doubt. Like you could address the problem at really address it rather than addressing all the bullshit. Like yeah, if you spent money, but here's the thing though. Let's say it is DNA, right? How much money would it take to fix the problem through DNA? So what would you do? Like what would you do to fix it? Now that you subscribe to DNA, right? Okay, it's DNA. Um, let's uh let's let's what?
Well, let me give you no, for sure, 100%. I agree with you. One example, and I'm sure we'd come up with more as we accept it, right? But one that comes to my mind, Doc, is, for example, these curfews, right? They're not solutions, right? They're just a blanket delusional, trying to ignore the reality solution, right? But if curfews for the sun kids, right? We don't have to punish the other demographics. Maybe don't breed those too, fine, right? But we don't have to punish the tiger kids, right? Um, and then we could really get to the bottom of this sun team chaos problem we have.
The root
Not
cause.
in a malicious manner, but maybe in a manner that, if we're being honest, will benefit sun kids. It will
Yeah.
keep them safer from themselves. I think.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing though, like you're trying to protect sons from other sons, right? And there's always going to be like a ecological niche, right? So like in the wild, if you remove a predator, right? Say you remove a fucking lion from all the lions from a certain environment, right? The cheetah gonna be the top predator, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You moved
I
all
think
the
so too.
cheetahs from the environment, you know what I mean? The goddamn eagle gonna become the top predator. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Something gonna eat the fucking prey, right?
yeah,
So like sons that probably aren't violent right now because they can't like contend with the sons that are out there, right? So they might got jobs, or they might be in the house, or they might not be, or they may be doing something else, right? If you remove the worst sons, those sons will now fill in the missing niche of those of the predatory sons that's gone. It fill in for them. So it's always going to be like they're always going to be replaced. You know what I mean by other sons.
or the demographics too.
Yeah, because say I wanted to be a fucking drill rapper, but I can't cut it, right? Because I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Them niggas too wild and shit. Like, niggas are too wild and shit. You get rid of those niggas, now I can become a drill rapper. And I'm gonna be just as fucking savage as they is. You know what I mean? It's like, sons, understand. Make sure y'all support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, or the Super Chat. Let's get some sponsors on the board right now, man. Let's get some sponsors on the board, guys. Salute to Barry B coming through once again. Barry B every night. Shout out to Barry B, man. Barry B is a big time supporter of the channel, man. Let's see what this story talking about, man. Let's see what they're talking about here, man. Let me start from scratch, man.
Tonight, the search for Jordan Manny Collins Jr. is over, but there are still many unanswered questions about his death.
After weeks of searching, the 16-year-old's body was found Saturday in the Elk River landfill.
I assure you it's a sobering experience to work in a landfill like that only to discover someone else's child.
The teen last seen in Columbia Heights had been missing since May 8th. His great-grandmother was one of the last people to see him alive.
Eric Shalou spoke with her this afternoon, and he joins us live now with a situation the grandmother calls a nightmare. Eric?
An absolute heartbreak is how she also described it, Kevin and Lindsay. Now, we're outside of this apartment complex in Columbia Heights where families say Manny Collins came earlier this spring to stay with a relative. There's a missing person flyer that's still up on the front door of the apartment complex. That truck there is, though, blocking it. But as you mentioned, I talked to Manny's great-grandmother, Mary, at her home in St. Paul earlier this afternoon about this loss and now their new quest for justice.
I miss him and I love him, but I know he's not coming back, and it hurts real bad, real bad.
Mary Berry told me she was one of the last people to see Manny when the 16-year-old left her home in May to come visit a relative in Columbia Heights. Mary says at one point she questioned the relative about when her great-grandson would be coming home and was told Manny took a bus back to St. Paul. Conversation, she says, it didn't sit well with her.
Where is Manny at? He said, I put him on the bus to come to your house.
Family told me that when Manny didn't text his mom back on Mother's Day, that too raised alarms. Recently, family posted on social media raising the reward for clues in Manny's case. Heartbreak for the family came over the weekend when Manny's body was found in an Elk River landfill after police say they got a tip that led them there. Mary told me that Manny always called her Gigi since she was his great-grandma, something she'll miss hearing.
And I'm going to miss that. Oh, Lord, I miss him.
What's been keeping you going through this?
I've been praying all day, every day.
I can see the tears in your eyes.
Yes. It's been the hardest days of my life.
Mary told me that she's now focused on what happens next with law enforcement working to solve Manny's case. You want justice for your great-grandson?
Yes. Yes, I do. Now.
That's what keeping you going after finding out? Is wanting that justice.
Yeah.
So law enforcement had a news conference earlier this morning where they revealed more about their case. At this point, they say there is a person of interest, but they're not naming that person. How did they get to that landfill in Elk River? According to investigators, they obtained some video that helped them find a dumpster in Columbia Heights. They're not saying exactly where. That truck then picked up at the dumpster going to that landfill in Elk River. This is a developing story our team has been on all day long. We'll stay on it for you as well. That's the latest here in Columbia Heights. Eric Shalou, 5 Eyewitness News.
Heartbreaking words from that great-grandmother, Eric.
Wow.
A tragedy on the 4th of July, gunfire breaking out overnight at a short-term rental, killing a juvenile and injuring 5 other people in Columbus. We're told 250 people were there for a party. It's good to have you with us tonight at 11. I'm Colin Dorsey. Yolanda has the night off. Well, this is all happening just after 2:30 this morning on Wilson Avenue. That's on the city's south side. 10 TV's Carly Dion is digging into what we know about that case tonight. Carly?
Well, Colin, as of tonight, Columbus police are still trying to track down the person responsible for this shooting. But a man hired to work security for the party last night explained what went wrong.
It was a lot of folks in there, and everybody was having fun until the wrong crowd showed up, and everything just literally went left.
Earl Jones says he was hired to work security for a party at a home on Wilson Avenue Thursday night. He says he and 2 other guards had a thorough system of patting each person down before they entered the party. At one point, the host asked them to allow some people to enter without being checked.
We were instructed that certain people were allowed certain.
What? Did you hear that?
They entered the party. At one point, he says he and 2 other guards had a thorough system of patting each person down before they entered the party. At one point, the host asked them to allow some people to enter without being checked.
We were instructed that certain people were allowed certain privileges of not having to go through the security process. They were just able to enter and leave at their own free will.
Later that night, the party took a turn just after 2:30 a.m.
All you could hear
saw
was
that coming?
chaos, gunshots everywhere. First we thought it was fireworks, but then when it was that close, we realized.
This video from a witness shows the chaos unfolding. Jones says shots were fired both inside and outside the home. He says he did all he could to help the victims.
Our help wasn't enough for one of the victims.
When police got to the scene, they found 3 victims with gunshot wounds. One of them, a juvenile, did not survive. 3 more people with gunshot wounds were also taken to nearby hospitals. The 5 who were injured are all expected to survive.
This is really a day of celebrating freedom, and now someone who was free lost their life so young at that. He was so young. He just looked like a kid.
Jones says people with guns on them seem to be getting younger and younger.
We had a guy hide a gun in his hoodie to try to get through the security process. And I'm like, dude, you're like 18. How you even got this gun? And he's like, don't worry about it. And then he walked away.
He says he even caught teens with semi-automatic hand rifles and Glock switches on their guns.
The ones we caught. But the ones that got to avoid our process inevitably caused this night to go the way it did, and people lost their lives.
And police still have not been able to identify that juvenile who died. Anyone with additional information on the shooting is asked to contact the Columbus Police Homicide Unit or remain anonymous and submit a tip through Central Ohio Crime Stoppers. Carly Dion, 10 TV News.
Carly, thanks. Well, in a statement, Columbus police are asking parents and guardians to be vigilant, know where your children are, and know who they're with. Also, talk to them about the dangers of settling disputes through violence. You can read the full statement right now inside this story on 10tv.com.
Yo, Og, wake up.
Good boy, Og passed out again, huh?
I
I was surprised he woke up the last time.
Yeah, it worked. And I didn't really have to. Yo, Og, wake up. Hey,
Og, wake up. Nope. What were you saying, Wiki?
Yeah, I was saying, do you know if I covered the story where the Sunman in a road rage incident shot a little white girl?
Shot a white girl?
A little white girl. I think she was 5 years old. Do you know if he covered it?
Nah, it doesn't sound familiar.
I put it in the back chat. Let's see if he wakes up and covers it. But apparently, a Sunman in a road rage incident shot a 5-year-old white girl.
Like, how did he shoot the 5-year-old white girl? Like, he just shot at the car and the white girl got hit.
Yeah, she shot at the other car, and then the other car was the dad with his daughter, and he shot the daughter.
What a shame. I bet you he gonna keep his head. He gonna keep his head held high too.
Right.
Like, what I did it.
Yeah. That was on the dad.
He might claim self-defense. He tried to run me off the road.
Man.
Damn cracker crackers think they can get away with everything.
Right, white privilege. Think about that.
Yeah,
Think about that,
I
bro.
know.
These
I
people will
know.
fix their face to talk about white privilege, dude. The privilege to
Yeah.
what?
Oh man, to their mind. Privilege
The,
to the sun man's mind.
the privilege to have your daughter shot by a sunward.
Right, right.
What like the fact that we allow them to say all this shit is crazy, bro.
But we do allow them to say that. We don't allow them to do shit, but they're allowed to. They're emboldened. You know, a lot of times I be thinking to myself, because I do, you know, it's like, and Aqua will tell you the same. You know, it's we as sons, we need the gliders to fix this. We need the gliders to fix this.
Yeah,
We need them to take the wheel and fix it. But
right,
I'm
right.
kind of realizing that the gliders, they really got to clean up their race. They got to clean up these liberals that have been led astray or whatever the hell they got going on. Because
Well, the liberals are the ones dominating the political sphere. They're the ones.
yeah,
The liberals are dominating, dude. Trump in office, still, I think the liberals are dominating.
I think so too. It sure does look it. And even if and then we don't have that fiery 2015 Trump. We can't even run off of that kind of energy anymore because Trump has already showed what he's about. He's about American globalism, if that's a
Yeah.
word.
Mm.
He's not necessarily
America.
about that talk. Yeah, no, he's not about giving Americans the win that we want. And I wonder what that win was.
You know, man. I think you would agree when I say that the liberals right now, literally right now, at the drop of a hat, could gather a mob
Mhm.
at a given location if something moves them to. It could be the most minor thing too, right? And that mob could, I mean, we saw what they did in 2020, for example, right? And
Mhm.
how they were forgiven for what they did for burning the cities down, right?
Yeah.
But they don't even have to burn it down. They could literally just cause chaos.
Yeah, they could.
They
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 could,
show up.
and
They
they
were
would.
showing up to judge's house, dude. Remember the
Hmm.
one judge? Remember the one cop, the female cop with the taser, that where she shot the one son, the dangerous somewhere. Remember that one
Uh,
in
Female
Minnesota?
cop.
Yeah, she thought she grabbed their taser. She grabbed their gun.
Oh yeah.
As he
That
was
was
taken out,
yeah. I remember that.
and he was a violent sonward, of course.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
with a violent history, but the liberals showed up to the judge's house, dude. How is that acceptable?
It's not, but I think it's kind of emboldened because they need. It sounds like history repeating itself. I used to always think to myself the biggest difference because when it comes to like that Chinese communism, that Maoism, or when it comes to the Bolsheviks, or when it comes to the Cambodian Holocaust, it was the young people that it was the
Oh
young
yeah,
college propagandized kids that will
even in
come in
China.
there and they would enforce the. So one thing that I used to always say that America had an advantage on was that these leftists they were a bunch of pussies, they're a bunch of pussies that sit here and want to be women, but I don't think that's the case anymore. I think these dudes. I mean, personally, I believe that they're extremely dangerous. I believe they're extremely dangerous. I believe they go to the gun range every day. I believe that they practice making bombs. They just cannot wait. They just cannot
Yeah,
wait to be that sleeper cell that Israel claims that Iran is going to be.
You know, in the 70s and 80s, more the 70s, the
Yeah.
gliders were engaging in terrorist activity regularly.
Yeah, in the 60s. Yeah, 60s too. 60s,
The late
70s.
yeah, like the late
Mm.
60s, 70s.
Yeah.
They
Yeah, I
were they
know.
were aligned with like the Black Panthers,
Hmm.
it's different like
Yeah.
some groups that wanted, I don't know what the fuck they wanted.
Yeah.
I guess
So
they wanted the
I mean,
cops to allow them to rob people or something, right? Wasn't that the number one rule
uh,
of the Panthers? Allow was to
um,
rob people without consequence. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
well,
Something like that.
no, they were just communists. Like you ever heard Op talk about Huey P.
Yeah, I'm
Newton?
familiar with them.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Wasn't he a homosexual? Well,
I
I mean, I
wouldn't be
know that.
shocked.
I mean, well, he was Hollywood, you know.
Yeah, but
Uh,
but the gliders were engaging in terrorist activity
mhm,
for different reasons, including the sun cause, but other
mhm,
reasons too, right? Yeah, the liberals, man. I think, but that's why when I hear like New Guy, for example, right? You know New Guy, right?
mhm.
The Canadian.
Yeah, you're right.
He talks about this ethno state, right?
Uh-huh.
But gliders are so divided, dude. Like,
Well, they
does he
are.
mean like the 50%? Because look, out of 100, typically speaking, right? Out of
No,
100%, 50, they're
I'm
kind of
very
50-50.
no, I'm very familiar with the crowd that new guy is talking about, you know.
So he wants just the
Um
50 conservative to create an ethno state, not the
not
other 50.
well no. He's gonna I mean, I imagine these types are gonna want an ethno state. They're gonna want an ethno state where in order, you know, where other people can go there, pass through, maybe even live, but they're gonna want them to have passports. Um, that way, you know, your passport can just get revoked at any given moment. I tell you what, another thing is I'll be on these Twitter spaces, and there's this dude. Um, I mean, I'm probably about 85% sure he's Juice Crew, but
Okay.
his name's Sir Ludwig, and you
Okay.
know he always gets on every day. Has these probably about these 6 hour panels, and it's called Ludwig Solutions.
Okay.
So you know he was on there and he was basically talking about what are we going to do with these you know, the sun crimes, sun behavior.
Oh wow.
It's bad. You know, what are we going to do? Yeah, you trust me. He talks about he's very familiar with the FBAs. The FBA's coming in there and
Does he know about
act a
Ike?
fool.
Do you know? Has
Man,
he ever mentioned it? Not really.
no, he wouldn't. This guy, he's like into his own stuff.
Yeah.
He's like I mean, I don't know if I would call him an intellectual, but you know,
But you
this
said
guy
he.
is
But you say he discusses crime, right? Like some
no.
crime.
He doesn't. He just discussed it for today. What he
Oh,
really
okay.
talks about, or that day, what he really talks about is how America has fallen. You know,
Mm,
America's fallen. The world's gone to shit.
yeah.
He will name the JQ. He will acknowledge the JQ, but he's also really on that. Hey, we need to get past all that. I mean, which I do agree. Um, so, and I was listening to a couple things that he was saying. So he was talking about when it comes to Sun women, when it comes to like, you know, your typical Sun household with the woman and multiple baby, multiple babies by multiple fathers. He said in order for them to continue to get uh, um, uh, you know, the whole benefits and all that stuff, Medicaid and all that. She's gonna have to, after the third baby, she's gonna have to surgically get a um, like a birth control, something like that. She's
Okay.
gonna have to surgically get that put in her. That way, she won't have any more kids on the people's dimes, and
Mm,
that her children will get allowances from the state, rewarded by the state, but they're going to have to get out and do chores every day for their own neighborhood. which include painting fences, sweeping of the streets, and he's basically saying that they're all going to be designated to one area, and they're going to constantly make it clean, and because of
But,
that, they're getting
but my
paid for
question
their.
is, why the third one? Why do we have to wait so long?
Oh well, I mean, he might not even have said 3, but
Hold on.
that's
Yo,
just
I can up. Real quick. I put a
I
story in the
was
back.
listening to everything I said. I listened to every word you said.
everything he said.
Yo, check what I put in the.
I was
What I
listening to
put in
everything
the.
I said.
So you heard when we were saying wake up? Or you
No,
didn't hear
I
that one?
didn't hear any of that, but I heard everything else.
I ain't even do my Pantheon voice because I don't think it works anymore.
Yeah. Yo, I put a story in the back chat, Chief. I don't know if you covered it, but you gotta play it. It's crazy.
In North Minneapolis are demanding something be done about violence in their community after another deadly shooting. Around 2:30 this morning, gunfire woke folks up near 21st and DuPont Avenues in North Minneapolis. Eric actually spoke with neighbors who have at least one simple solution.
We've been checking in with Minneapolis police throughout the day. At last check, there have been no arrests, and the young man who lost his life, his name has not been released. We talked to several neighbors today who said they first thought it was fireworks and then realized it was gunfire and a man lost his life.
Oh, they turning them on.
A live stream captured the moments after gunfire erupted in North Minneapolis.
I heard like 8 or 9 shots and text 911 because it was just a little bit too close for comfort.
Tanitha Pearl-Warren was behind the camera.
I did not get very much sleep at all last night.
Her neighborhood was filled with MPD investigating a deadly shooting.
Then I heard someone yelling for help.
Oh, man.
But the street was so dark, I couldn't see a physical person. So that was alarming to me.
Minneapolis police say 2 men were riding scooters around the 2100 block of DuPont Avenue North. That's when gunfire broke out. A man in his 20s was hit. He later died at the hospital.
We're burying our future. 20-year-old baby. We're burying our.
That's not the future, man. I mean, he may be a future procreator, future father. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's probably gonna have a lot of children, but he's not like the future of what? Like what kind of society looks at those guys as their future? And she's not even talking about like as breeders or as procreators. She's talking about like as essential people in the society.
Our future. Yeah. And that's alarming.
This tragic loss of life is something we, as a community, simply cannot accept, said Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara in a statement. Our investigators are working urgently to determine whether this was a targeted or random act, and we need the public's help. If you have any information, no matter how minor it may seem, please come forward.
To not know if he was just, driving through and got hit by a stray bullet, or if somebody was targeting him, it doesn't matter. Someone lost their life.
That is the important part, right? Right.
Before our cameras were rolling, you were talking to some other neighbors.
Well, it does actually matter if you want to solve the fucking crime, you fucking dipshit.
This has impacted folks here.
It definitely has. It definitely has.
We spoke to other neighbors off camera concerned about the shooting, but also mentioning the need for reliable working streetlights.
That's something you want addressed.
That is, definitely. Having well-lit communities would deter a lot of the foolishness that lurks in the dark.
We reached out to the mayor's office and we're told they're going to look into what we raised. Now, if you have any information that could help me.
Let me see.
Check the one I put in the back chat.
And
buckle up, especially if you're a glider.
Everybody hit the like button, man. Smash that like button, man. Smash that like button. Salute. Let me get this off the screen. Shout out to Australian man. Let's see.
A 5-year-old girl who police say was shot during a road rage incident is home from the hospital. This little Emma's family sent us new pictures today. It looks like the little girl is in good spirits, but still has a long road to recovery. Family tells WRAL Emma has undergone multiple surgeries, still faces weeks of physical therapy. The man accused of shooting into a pickup truck in Cary Monday, hitting Emma in the leg, is in jail on no bond.
Let me show you his picture real quick.
Right now at 11, Cary police arrested a man in connection with a road rage incident where a 5-year-old was shot. Tonight, this man, Charles Stevenson, was taken into custody and he's now facing multiple charges.
This comes as a huge relief for the family. The little girl was shot in the middle of rush hour traffic. She's on the road to recovery, and tonight, for the first time on camera and only on WRAL, we're hearing from 5-year-old Emma's family about the moments after she was shot, her injuries, and what happens next. We begin our coverage tonight with Eric Miller. He's been following this story and joins us live from US 1. Eric.
Well, Gerald, this is certainly the moment this family has been hoping and praying for over a terrifying 24 hours.
For Aubrey Allison, it's hard to find the words.
Your stomach just drops all the way down.
The moment she found out her niece had been shot.
To hear the wailing from her mother last night when we went to greet her at the hospital, no mother or parent wants to get that phone call.
Allison got the call not long after it all happened on US 1 in Cary. Cary police say it was an act of road rage. The driver of a 1990s Hyundai Elantra firing a shot into this silver pickup truck around 6 p.m. Monday. That bullet passed through 5-year-old Emma's leg before lodging in her sippy cup.
What an image that is. And it's nothing that you ever hope happens in your own life.
Allison says Emma has been through multiple surgeries and is now doing well.
She seems to be in good spirits.
But the bullet took a chunk of her leg, and Emma is now facing extended physical therapy, all before she ever sets foot in a kindergarten classroom.
And tonight, Allison says she hopes this incident inspires people to do something about gun violence in the community. She's also helped set up a GoFundMe to try to help pay some of Emma's medical bills. Now, there's a lot more to dig into this story, especially on that arrest. That breaking news here tonight. The Bureau's Brian Schrader is digging into all of that for the Live Center. Brian.
Eric, and just...
That's crazy, man. That son turd shot that little girl, and it's nothing like... There was no commentary whatsoever on that part of the story.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even fucking broach the topic. God damn, they just like skimmed right past it.
And it goes back to what I was saying earlier about how impulsive some men are, and proximity to them is very dangerous. And that's what happened in this one.
Yeah, like like think about it. Probably 90% of the time someone fires a shot from one car to the next is probably a Sunday. Because that's a very that's a very not only like risky thing, but it's that's very and you got to have your feet firmly placed on the ground. You got to be very confident. You got to be very arrogant and very high on yourself to do that. You know what I mean? To just whip out a gun and fire over at somebody, in on the highway. That's somebody that's like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's like, yo, I'm the shit. You offended me, you must die. Or you did something that I didn't like, or you in some way, so you must die now.
Right. Do you remember that story you did with the talking cop car? Where the car itself spoke to the son man? It's like, stop right there, son. Word.
Oh, the speaker. Yeah. These people are sons are sick, man. Hit that little girl. If this was And listen, you can say if this was the races were reversed,
Yeah.
it would be a race. It would be a hate crime. He did it because that would instantly that would be on the table. Like he did it because they were black. There was some reason that they did it. When blacks do it, it's just
No, it's sickening all of them.
wow. St. Paul, there's a mass shooting in St. Paul.
St. Paul, what started as a festive 4th of July block party, ended with panic and gunfire. Neighbors say hundreds gathered to celebrate when chaos broke out. Our Maria Bray has the latest.
A neighbor whose home was hit with bullets says about 300 to 400 people were out here enjoying fireworks when someone started shooting.
So once I heard the gunshots and stuff, and boom, 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 I see everybody shadow start running and stuff.
Dennis Hudson lives on the corner of Central Avenue and Avon Street.
It was probably 300 to 400 people here last night.
He says it was your standard community block party with fireworks for the 4th of July until
I heard about like maybe between 10 to maybe 15 shots. Seemed like they were shooting back and forth at each other.
St. Paul police say 2 men were on the receiving end of the gunfire.
I seen somebody was putting a guy in the car, taking him to the hospital. And I asked everybody what happened. They say 2 guys got shot.
They both were brought to Regions Hospital just after midnight, but are expected to be okay.
Just one bad apple caused the whole problem.
Then, in a separate incident on Euclid Avenue,
someone was shot in the side of the body.
Police say a man was hit in the torso around 11:30 at night.
We have a ton of casings.
He was also taken to Regions and is also expected to be okay.
If us as people cannot come together to simply celebrate a holiday, then what is our future looking like?
Neighbors near Central Avenue are left wishing a night of celebration ended without violence.
This area isn't bad. The shootings, I'm not surprised.
It's just a tragic accident that happened, but I'm glad that no one get killed.
And neighbors hope something like this never happens again here. I'm Maria Bray in St. Paul, 5 Eyewitness News.
Man, Jesus Christ. Wow. South Africa.
A search party of 7 set out to find their friend.
So I thought, no man, we're going to find her. There's no way we're not going to find her.
After she went silent on her first date.
It didn't make sense. Where is she? Why is she missing? And we just, every place we went to looked dodgier and dodgier, and it made me panic. I was very scared.
The panic worsened when they followed Olerato's phone location and found her bag on the side of the road.
It was quite a small bag, like a clutch bag. So it wasn't even thrown. It was actually looked like it had been placed there.
They file a missing persons report and continue their search.
So this is where the pin brought us to this house.
Little did they know, they were less than 100 meters from where Olerato's body had been dumped.
This is where her body was found by somebody who lives in this house, I think. She had just been thrown here. Her top was open with her breast out. Her legs were looking that way, and her face was just beaten.
What country
it was very
is this?
difficult for me to see her like that. Sorry.
South.
This is how Olerato's loved ones want her to be remembered. Vibrant, happy, and traveling the world. This CCTV footage is the last time she was seen alive, leaving her home in Johannesburg and walking to the car of a man who asked her out on a date. She appears hesitant. He's not alone in the car. Days later, police would find the car with Olerato's blood across the back seat and shoot one of the 2 men who targeted her dead. They're part of a dangerous criminal syndicate that corner young women in malls, lure them out on dates, and rob them. We spoke to one of the survivors of their deadly money-making scheme.
I went through the same traumatic experience 2 days before Olerato's murder. I was threatened at gunpoint and with a knife, saying I should bring my belongings, and if I don't cooperate, give them my cell phone and access to my bank accounts, and they even made me request money from people. If I don't comply with them, they were going to shoot me.
These cases of abduction and murder are sadly familiar. South Africa has one of the highest femicide rates in the world. An average of 15 women are killed a day, many by their intimate partners. According to police statistics, more than 5,500 women were murdered in South Africa last year, an increase of 33.8% compared to the previous year. The United Nations says Africa recorded the largest number of female intimate partner violence in the world. In the midst of growing criticism around inaction, South African police told us they are determined to tackle the growing femicide crisis here.
This is really a serious issue because the numbers cannot be this high, and majority perish in the hands of, like the case of Olerato, where you will think at the age of 30, you need to live your life as a young woman.
How do you think the police handled this case?
I think we glorified them a bit too much. I think her friends were the real heroes in that moment. I mean, 2 police stations that were 10 minutes apart, one finds a body, one has a missing case, don't make a connection for hours. It's not the most reassuring police work. And if the friends hadn't come forward, then how long would it have taken?
Olerato sent her live location to ensure her safety and was still found beaten to death by her captors.
Seeing her body lying like that, with those bruises and blood everywhere, I don't think what I saw will ever go away.
I don't know if
And
you
for
heard me,
Olerato's
dog is in
friends,
the
the
back.
legacy of her death is in keeping with how she lived.
She would be proud of the fact that her name it represents such a strong story, and her name probably has brought down a syndicate. She really stood for women. She was a girl's girl, and she wanted girls to be safe,
Zach
wanted
on the
women to
panel?
be protected. Her name has not,
Man, is Zach out again?
gone in
I'm
vain.
sitting there
Her
listening
death
to
is
this.
standing for something, and there will be change that comes with this.
She said she wants to nourish a tree.
A lemon tree stands where
Like
Olerato's body has been.
this tells you, like, so they got gangs that they book girls, like they get girls' numbers, invite them on dates, and rob them, sometimes kill them, right? That's like a lick over there in South Africa, right? So, like, I mean, every black country you go to, every country where there's any black population, like, or a black area, that's hell, man. This right here, this is just one of many crimes that's going on in South Africa. One of
Yeah,
many.
and she was cute, man. Hats off to the brothers.
Whacked her out, invited her on a date. She got in the car with 2 dudes, though. That was her first mistake. When she seen another person in the car, she should have been like, nah, I'm good. I'm good.
She didn't follow the word.
I dropped my homeboy off, man. Then we're going to go out. Nah, man, I'm
She
good.
didn't follow if they were there at 3, I want that B room.
Yeah, exactly. Her
And that made
instinct
3.
is good. I'm telling you, yeah. Look at this. Another. Look at this. Nigeria.
Fear, uncertainty, and despair are the emotions of many people in Nigeria, as insecurity gives the sense of a nation under siege. Kidnapping for ransom has become widespread, affecting both rich and poor alike. After Ajoye was kidnapped on a highway in southwest Nigeria, along with 3 other persons, their captors demanded 50 million naira, about $31,000 for each person, an impossible sum for most Nigerian families to raise. But these were not men who understood mercy.
They told my wife, if you don't want us to kill your husband, bring money. They used to beat us when they want to negotiate with our people. When they are beating us, even the one that used to teach us what we will be saying, tell them you need money or else they will kill you. If we kill you, we don't lose anything.
More than 2 million kidnap incidents were recorded in 1 year, between May 2023 and April 2024, according to a report credited to NBS, Nigeria Statistical Agency. It would later say its website was hacked, but has not denied publishing the report. Another report by SBM Intelligence a security intelligence and research firm, had a lower figure. It said 21,686 people were abducted in Nigeria between January 2019 and September 2024. In Zamfara, northwest Nigeria, Zainab spent 7 months in captivity after she was kidnapped. Her mother died while she was held captive, and she says it was caused by grief.
We were regularly beaten, starved of food, and I fell sick while in captivity. The most horrific experience was when we were forced to dig a grave and bury another kidnapped victim. It was heart-wrenching.
Wow.
David
No
and his
wonder
teenage
FBA
daughter
hate
were
terrorists.
abducted after gunmen broke into their home.
Yeah, I mean, this is the typical behavior. Anywhere you got blacks, they're gonna do the most heinous crimes because they're not those things are not allowed by gliders. So we tend to think that like these things are only happening over in South Africa because they have the breakdown of their society in South Africa and Nigeria. When you have a society that's broken down, you know what I mean, can't collect trash, can't, repair water mains, can't, pave roads. When
You
you have
can't be
society
safe.
like yeah, you can't be safe, exactly.
Oh,
And
you got Doug in the back, right?
oh, okay. Shout out to Doug. What's up, Douglas?
Hey, fellas. How's it going? How you doing, Wicked?
Floor is yours, man.
Wicked, you're the man. Hey, Ak, I had an idea for a movie. It's another to the Final Destination franchise. The whole movie is just based on people getting ready to go to sun gatherings.
That'd be pretty good.
Right?
Put on their makeup, and
yeah,
you get in the outfit, and then ride into the sun event, and then boom, it's over.
I didn't think they would make it out of the house.
Right.
Thought the bullets were going to come in the window on the way out.
Yeah. No, that's a good idea, man. I mean,
right?
Sun gatherings. I mean, this look all the
Our Nation Productions.
Yeah.
There you
Save
go.
it. Saving
Ak,
Private Keisha.
You did that story. I think it was Chicago with the woman that stabbed the 3 kids. I thought that could have gone any direction. That could have been Glider, but the fact that they never said who did it, and I don't know if we still don't know, but
yeah, it was a Sun lady.
It had to have been.
No,
they didn't tell us right away. Yeah.
You know what? As a matter of fact, not too long ago, another sister did the same shit. Remember that one where she stabbed her kids and the mailman stopped her?
Wow. I don't remember that one, but
And wasn't there one where a Sun sister threw her kids off the parking garage?
Wow.
Like in the last one, the 8-year-old kid that was stabbed up was telling his mom, "I love you, mom. I forgive you, mom," as he was passing on.
Damn. He knew his mom was sick as one sick puppy, man. Wow.
Yo, Doug, what do you think about the story with the sippy cup? Man, that story bothered me.
I don't know if I heard that. What was that story?
The one in Gary, the road rage where he shot the 5-year-old kid.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
That story for some reason. Well, I mean, because I got a kid with sippy cups, right? I pissed me off, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you do too. I know you put your kid in the car, give him the sippy cup. That shit bothered me, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I would do. I have no idea. I don't know what I would do, man. I would lose my fucking mind. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I can't even conceptualize what it is to literally just live in the moment. Like whatever I do, I have zero thought about what happens a minute from now, let alone a day or a week or a month from now. It's like right now, that's all I care about.
Right.
It kind of sounds like a dog.
It's weird. It's weird.
Like a pet.
You know, that's a good way to put it, Doug. That's a very good way to put it, actually.
Yeah.
You hear what he said, Ag, about how at least him, right? He thinks years in advance. He's worried about weeks in advance. Now you have these clowns not even worried about an hour from now.
Yeah. Not even
Yeah.
5 minutes from now. It's right now. That's what I'm thinking about.
How you
I
can
mean, it.
be and their consequences. They act
Yeah.
as if there's no consequences to their actions, which also gives them an advantage over you because like you're thinking about like say you're some son man like let's just say cut you off, right? And and you you make a face at him or you honk the horn, right?
Right.
And now he slows down to get beside you, and he's like got a gun in his hand. He's brandishing the gun, like, and and he's looking at you all menacingly, like, and you speed up, and he speeds up. You slow down, he slows down, and it's like, um, even if you have a gun, right?
Right.
Are you going to shoot his ass? No.
Fuck no. And like you said, that confrontation didn't start when he cut you off. It started when you gave him the dirty look.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
So
Doug,
it's
they
like, yeah.
no, no, go ahead.
He has the ups on you because
Right.
he'll shoot you and you're not ready to shoot first.
No. You know, Doug, they say that if you stand still, the sunman can't see you anymore.
I like that.
Yeah, man. They bullies, man. They're
But
bullies.
you know, and you touch on it all the time. It's a low IQ problem, and it's not exclusive to sons. There's plenty of low IQ gliders.
But
Oh
let
hell
me
yeah.
let me stop you there, Doug. Let me stop you right there.
Yep.
That statement you just said is very fucking unnecessary, right? You don't have to soften it, right? There's no need
No,
for
no,
you to do that.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But I think Jordan Peterson said the U.S. military will not hire people. You have to have a certain IQ to be allowed into the U.S. military, and it's low. It's a low number, and I think it's gotten lower. Um, but even with as low a cutoff as they allow, 10% of the U.S. population is not smart enough to be hired by the military to dig ditches and wash dishes. And that's very concerning. That's over 30 million people who are too dumb to dig a ditch in the military.
I'm surprised it's not higher. You got Jimmy in the back, Doug. I'm surprised it's not higher, Doug.
I agree.
10%, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. But that's also 10% of people that, if the military won't hire them, do they have a job anywhere else? Probably not.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I think that like when you talk about low IQs, there's a distribution, and most people don't even like really understand that like that. But yeah, there's a lot of dumb gliders. A lot of dumb gliders that won't fucking shoot you at the drop of a
Right.
hat, though.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, I mean,
there's the low IQ and there's something else at play. There's multiple factors at play because of the dumb gliders. Like in my town, there's a lot of them, crooked teeth, fucked up, wear shorts no matter what the weather is. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like they it's a lot of low IQ underperforming and underachieving gliders, right? A lot of them, especially in as you call it, middle America and shit like that, right? A
Yep.
lot of them,
but
and I promise you, they won't shoot you at the drop of a hat, and they care what's going on, and they're nice people too. They're dumb, but they're nice.
yeah, I
Sure.
mean, and I mean again, that to me that's like saying everybody commits crime, right? It's like there's no need to say everybody commits crime.
Yeah.
Right. And that whole poverty bullshit excuse that the shit libs on the left want to use. It's like there's more gliders in poverty than the entire sun population in the U.S.
Exactly.
And what? If poverty was the excuse, why aren't there massively more glider violent crimes and murders? It doesn't happen because it's bullshit.
And you know another thing, what gliders did to sons, it's fair to say it was wrong, right? Jim Crow,
Sure.
although we know why they did it. Let's be honest here, we know why they did it. Slavery was wrong. Jim Crow was wrong. Segregation was wrong. Wrong, right? So how does that explain why a son word will unload on a crowd recklessly, a 30-round magazine? How does that explain that shit? It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Man, yeah, it is. Go ahead, Jimmy. What's your thoughts, man?
I'm just joining in, man. I don't know how to answer that question. That's the mystery genetic component, whether it's the impulse control component or something. That's the one nobody wants to talk about. What makes them different? It's not the skin color.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on all the shootings? Like, I mean, the dozens of shootings on July 4th, man, or this weekend.
Not in my neighborhood.
Orange man bad. That's it. Orange man bad.
Were these patriots shooting each other for the 4th of July?
Hello. There's a dog that looked like Rocco in the road. And I didn't want to run him over, so I swerved to the right.
Salute to Deluxe 247, aka Cal Ripken, aka the real MVP, coming through once again. So she's talking on her phone as if the cop's not at her window. That's a good way to start.
And it was a car on the other in that lane. Ma'am, I didn't want to hit the wall. Hi, hello. How are you? Do you have your driver's license and insurance on you? Yes. Okay. You mind just rolling your window down for me for my partner over there? The reason why I stopped is you only have one tail light. Okay. Is this your car? No. Okay. My parking lot. Yeah. Do you mind just rolling your back window down for me, please? Thank you, because we can't see it all in the car. Appreciate it. My parking lot. Thank you. Gino. Whose car is it? My boyfriend's car. Okay. When was the last time you smoked marijuana in the car? Okay.
Yeah, it's
Do you have a
marijuana.
medical
She lost her
marijuana
short-term memory.
Okay. Okay. Is there any marijuana in the car right now? Because I can smell it. Okay. All right. Just hang tight here with my partner, all right?
What is that right there? Roaches? But that's what we smell properly.
Do you mind just handing me that roach, please? Appreciate it. Thank you. I'll be right back.
Oh, those are the tail lights?
Can I have your phone? It's okay for me to have it?
All right, 2006 Dodge Ram. All right.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I can park right here.
You can probably, when we are done, you can probably just back up. It's better.
I got an elevated heart rate, just wondering what she's going to do next.
All right, can you do me a favor? Can you just shut off your car for me? I'm just going to have you step out real quick, okay? Anything else in the car that you want to tell me about? No. Okay. But why am I stepping out? So we're going to search the vehicle now based on the odor that I'm getting and the fact that you had a burned blunt right there. You can't search my vehicle. I absolutely can, and I am going to. So I'm going to have you exit the car. You can't search the vehicle. I'm going to have you exit the car.
Just hang up the phone because he's giving you instructions.
Where we're not like, we're past that. Okay. I'm going to have you just open the door. You can't unlock my vehicle. Yes, I can. No, you cannot. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You cannot. Why y'all?
You're racist. Get out of the car.
Why y'all
Get out of the car.
out the car, bro?
Get out of the
Why
car.
y'all putting y'all
Get out of the car.
Okay.
Get out of the car.
Like, y'all not giving me a chance to get out the car.
Get out of the
Bro,
car.
I'm not-
Get out of the car.
Why are y'all pulling me? Bro,
Stop
what the-
resisting.
I'm not. Y'all are pulling me out the
Put your hand behind your
car.
back. Put your hand behind your back.
I'm not resisting. I am not resisting. Y'all pull me out of my vehicle.
You're resisting right now.
I'm not resisting.
Yes, we asked you to step out. And you said that you
What do
would.
you mean? All I had to do was get out of the car. You pulled the door open, ma'am. What do you
Hold on a
mean?
second.
Can I
Hey,
have my phone? Can I have
Good.
Do you really think she believes that she wasn't resisting and that she hasn't done anything wrong? I mean, is this so her normal behavior that it seems odd to her that defying everything a cop says gets her in trouble? Does she really think she did nothing wrong? Is she, you know what I mean? Kind of like how the community right now is behind Carmelo Anthony saying it's self-defense. A lot of people really believe it. Does she really believe this?
I don't think a lot of black people really believe it. I think a lot of black people are just on team black versus team white. I don't think a lot of black people believe that was self-defense.
Okay, that issue aside, does this gal here believe that she hasn't done anything wrong?
I believe she believes that, okay, I'm being unfairly targeted because I'm black or something like that, and
because I'm black and confident.
Yeah, well, the resistance I'm giving is not like resisting. It's like I'm not like striking officers. I'm not kicking officers. That's what she means by she's not resisting.
And that's what I mean. Their definition of not resisting is so completely different from
it is. I mean, she believes she's showing restraint. She showed restraint in that car. She believes like I could have cussed you out, but I didn't.
I think to them, not resisting is not actually fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
Physically fighting, that's their impression of resisting, like punching.
Exactly.
We need a program.
my phone, please? You cannot have your phone right now. This is harassment, ma'am. This is not harassment. Yes, this is harassment, ma'am. No,
Several
I did not
times.
say no. I said you had no right.
We
to
were
search
here.
the
We got
vehicle.
cameras. We heard everything.
You said you had. I said you had no right to search the vehicle.
We have the right.
No, you do not.
We told you that.
do
Okay.
not have a probable
You can
cause.
take it to court.
Get in the car. Ma'am, get in the car. You're not listening again. You're not listening again.
Why are y'all in my truck? Explain to me. Why is my fiance outside of my truck? Explain to me, please.
You want to wait a little bit and then we'll talk to you?
Why is she on arrest? She
Okay.
did not resist. Y'all had no right to go in my truck.
Just wait a minute.
This could be a twofer.
It is a twofer, I'm betting.
No, they're not gonna do nothing to him. I can tell because like this is just like this is standard. This is standard up. This is what he's doing is just baseline.
Y'all
We'll
need to
talk to you
explain
later.
this to
Okay.
me. Why is she under arrest?
First of all,
Y'all
we
should
don't-
have detained her. I know my rights.
Okay, we don't need to explain anything to you. First of all, we don't have to. We don't have to tell you anything.
I heard everything. Why y'all didn't issue a ticket? She lived right here. She's on my insurance.
Just
The
give
bug
us
is
a
in
minute,
there.
all right?
Okay, I'm gonna give you a
Okay.
minute, but I want proper answers.
Okay,
please.
yeah, we'll
And
do that.
what's your badge number and your name?
1835, and it's Carter. But
1980 Dell.
if you just give us a minute,
I'm gonna talk to you. I'll wait
we'll talk to
patiently.
you. Okay,
I'll
thank
wait
you.
patiently.
I appreciate
and I
it.
want you to legally justify and explain everything.
So he even though he's coming over, he thinks that he's like coming like a real man, but he's still behaving like a child. He's like a child. You know what I mean? He's like my little daughter just coming up, you know what I'm saying, asking a bunch of questions. He's no different than that. How he's presented. He doesn't know that he thinks he's presenting as a grown man.
I heard everything and I have it recorded on the phone.
That's fine. Yeah,
And
we're also recording
y'all body-
everything.
Y'all body cameras?
Yeah, we're recording everything. We'll also, you might want to get your transmission checked out after this.
I know about the law. He honestly doesn't know Pennsylvania condemns.
I don't think he does.
That says that we can order anyone out of a vehicle for all purposes. And they don't have the right to refuse. And I'm gonna put the lawyer on the situation. I'm not playing. I work. I'm gonna drop the money. I'm not playing.
That nigga would never spend a dime on a lawyer that he didn't, if it wasn't a murder case, man. He just talking now.
Y'all got the wrong one. Y'all should have detained her, which y'all should have did instead of pulling her out. Y'all talk to her. Y'all don't unlock no fucking trunk and pull her out. Come on, y'all just violated her rights. Stop playing, bro. No, all of them.
What's your badge number? What's your badge 1650. 1650. Hughes.
Okay, she was stopped for traffic violation. She had weed in the car. That gives us the right to search the car. Also, Supreme Court case Pennsylvania v. Mims gives us the right to remove anyone from a vehicle for officer safety purposes. You cannot refuse. If you refuse, it's obstruction. Okay, so Supreme Court case says we're allowed to do that. And there was weed in the car. That's why the car is being searched.
Did you explain that to her? Because I heard her asking you, and you didn't explain that to her.
I wasn't here for the traffic stop. I'm just explaining to you what I was told when I got here by the officers.
On the body cam footage, it'll show they proceeded to unlock the truck instead of explaining to her. Someone who unknowingly don't know the law.
Well, I was told was that she was on the phone with you, and they asked her to step out because there was marijuana in the car, and you told her on the phone no.
Whoops.
They ain't say nothing about it.
Well, then how did they not? Because she handed them the rope.
Why did they force her to take her out of the car?
Because she refused to get out on her own.
Because she refused to get
Yep,
out.
that's obstruction.
So they opened the car.
Yes.
And they took her out.
Yes.
Because she refused.
Yes.
Everything
Supreme.
yes. And we'll play back on the
case
body
law says we're allowed to do that. Pennsylvania v. Mims.
Case law says y'all allowed to
yes,
do
sir.
That. And body camera will show everything.
Yes, it will.
That's a lawsuit. Y'all do know that, right?
That's fine, buddy. Do what you need to do, but yes.
So when I tried to open your door, you almost shut the door on my hand several times, to where my partner felt it unsafe for you to no longer sit in that truck because we didn't know what you were up to. I absolutely had a right to search your vehicle, and I explained to you why. And you still acted that way. I don't know why you just didn't exit the vehicle. We would have been done by now. Yes, I did, ma'am. That's not true. I gave you every opportunity to get out of that car. Okay. I'm not going to argue with you. All right.
Child memory.
The suspect was charged with obstructing an officer without violence. She was found indigent and assigned a public defender, so the boyfriend must have not lawyered up after all. On June 5th, 2025, the defendant entered a guilty plea and was ordered into an offender work program as part of the resolution. Shockingly, she was arrested again just 6 months later for aggravated domestic battery with a weapon. Based on the investigation report, the victim, her boyfriend, had just returned home from work when he saw the suspect standing inside holding 2 knives. He told her, "I just want my clothes and I'll leave." Despite his attempt to de-escalate the situation, the suspect began to approach him while still holding the knives multiple times as he attempted to gather his belongings. As of today's date, this is an active felony case.
I feel like she hasn't learned her lesson.
Yeah, no way. No way she's learned the lesson, man. No way. No way.
Possibly not.
Yeah, there's no way she's learned the lesson. I mean, she can't. Like, these people, like, they just.
You know what, though? If they gave her one more. If they gave her one more chance, though, she might learn it that time.
Yeah, you gotta think, like, every situation is different. Who's that breathing like that? Every situation is every situation is different, right? Every situation is like, it's like Groundhog Day. Did you ever see that movie with Bill Murray, Groundhog Day?
Of course.
Yeah. Who's that breathing like that? Oh, that's Doug Chunks.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah. Like, you remember how, like, he
Darth
even
Chunks.
in Groundhog Day, he became, like, he could play the piano. He learned how to, like, do all these great things. He could memorize the whole day, how this person was going to come into the bar and they're going to knock over a plate at this second. You know what I mean? He became very proficient. If Groundhog Day starred
Bill Murray,
let's just say Bernie Mac or motherfucking Martin Lawrence, it would have, or was written by a black guy, it would have been a whole different movie. You know that, right?
I completely.
It wouldn't have been. He wouldn't have learned how to play the goddamn concert piano just from constantly, having to do the day over again. He wouldn't have remembered everything that was going to happen during the day. You know what I mean?
Like a goldfish.
Yeah, it would have just been like, it would have just been every day would have been starting at zero. He'd been starting at zero every day.
And a lot of weed.
You know what I mean?
And he'd be happy.
Right. And he could possibly do that. He could possibly like remember things from the day or become proficient and to use his time wisely, his time stuck in this loop to, read books or something like that, but he wouldn't want to. You know what I mean? He wouldn't have the thirst to do that, so he wouldn't.
Someone could tell him there's nothing holding him back from learning with each day's experience and making himself better.
Right. Well, why would you? Like, it just, like he would probably rape a lot of women. He would probably rape all the women in the thing because he know that he's just gonna go to sleep that night and wake up. It's gonna be the beginning of the day again. He would have raped every woman in that fucking movie.
Now, is that cultural or DNA?
It's DNA. And I mean, even if he wasn't a rapist, he would have tried to. Like, here's the thing, like if you like that girl, remember the hot girl in the movie? I forgot her name, but the one Bill Murray was after. Like,
Andy
she was kind of playing. Yeah, Andy McDowell. She was kind of playing Bill Murray, like, hard to get, right? Why not just rape her and then wake up the next morning and be over with? Like, even if the police arrest you, you're still gonna wake up the next morning and it's gonna be, Puxatawny Phil. You know what I mean?
Well, we don't know that he didn't do that, but in the final edit, they thought the story, it was just better that we kept it.
And I'm sure that would cross anybody's mind. But I'm talking about doing it.
I think he and her and Ned Ryerson had a three-way.
Yeah, exactly. Ned Ryerson, man. Yeah, but and I'm not saying that some men are rapists. I'm just using that as a example. Like, we would be more concerned with like carnal things than like, what I mean, learning a new language or some shit like that. Yeah. So, yeah, man. Salute to everybody, man. This is another salute to Eric, as he says, the sons are only ones who don't have to pay a range fee. Any final thoughts, guys? Any final thoughts from anybody?
Don't forget to turn your phone ringer on.
Oh no, my phone is upstairs. My phone is upstairs, and I didn't fall asleep as many times as y'all thought. Like, a lot of times I'm just listening. Just listening. Yeah, see. You know what happens too? Like, before, I didn't have this other channel, and I didn't have the other kid. So I got another channel and another kid, and man, it's great. It's wonderful. It's wonderful though. I love my other channel and I love my other kid. But
so you have something that's vitally important to your life and soul, and you have the kid. So you won.
That's a take.
Same black time. Same black channel. I'm out of here. Subscribe.
Later, guys.